Welcome back to episode 9 of the DUBS podcast. Today we've got a special guest, Sam Olsson, catcher for the Oregon Ducks. Welcome, Sam, to the podcast. How are you doing today?
Welcome to the pod.
Good, man. Good. Thanks for having me. Stoked about it.
Such an honor to have a college athlete today. I think, as we were talking earlier, obviously college ball is the dream for most high school players, and to be able to talk to someone is super cool today. I think the first question we should get to is, can you tell us about your story and how did you get to where you are right now?
Yeah. So, where do you want me to start? Like high school? Just what I did in high school?
Yeah.
Anywhere that seems good for you.
Yeah. I mean, I was a 3-sport guy in high school. So I played football, basketball, baseball. But just, growing up, always knew that I wanted to pursue baseball and try to go play college ball and be on there. So I didn't really get much looks throughout high school. I struggled with my grades, so that was kind of the main reason. I got some good looks early, but then towards the end, they started checking out my GPA, and then it turned downhill. So, but no, and then I got an offer from San Jose State. Had to do a few things to get into there, so I went there my freshman year of college, and then had some coaching changes. Like before the year even started, our head coach got fired, and then we had an assistant, our pitching coach, who I knew really well, left. So that was another reason why I left, and then I went to Tacoma Community College, which is in Tacoma, Washington. Went there for a year, and then got a few offers to a few different schools and chose U of O. So I'm actually originally from Eugene as well. So I went to Sheldon High School. And yeah, man, that's basically my story right there.
We played a couple teams for Oregon before. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It was Junction City.
Yeah.
Oh,
Junction.
yeah. So I'm like 20 minutes away from there.
Oh, that's super cool.
I think we played another team our freshman year from Oregon. I forgot the name.
Yeah.
It was when Jason hit the grand slam. I remember that.
Yeah.
No, that one was Junction City. The other one is the newer.
Okay.
So I think you touched on this, Sam, but I have a question. Was your goal always to play for Oregon, or was that just something that kind of just came out of your college track, I guess?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. Ultimately, I grew up going to games. I got pulled out. I remember this till this day, man. I was in 5th grade. My parents pulled me out of class, and I got to go to the first game I ever played at U of O, and they beat Fresno State after they won the Natty.
Oh.
So, I don't know, man. It was just like Oregon will always hold a special place in my heart. And yeah, I'm not saying it'd be my goal to go there, but it would have been sweet. You know what I'm saying? Like that was definitely
true kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But then at the same time, it's just baseball at the end of the day. So
Right.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
I have a question for you. Now, this is kind of a fun question. Me being a catcher, I want to know, what is your pop time?
my pop time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like-
man. I haven't got clocked in a while, so we've been out of the
Dang.
but
Oh, yeah.
probably sitting around at 2.
Yeah.
Or like a little below that.
Alright.
It's
Damn.
not about the
Yeah.
pop time, bro.
Yeah, 'cause I know Shelly really likes that because, like, at our school, I'm like the backup catcher. Like, I'm there if Shelly's like pitching or something. So when we have catcher practices, me and him are always competing because our coach has like his stopwatch off to the side, and we're always competing because, like, at that moment in time, I know you said like pop time isn't what matters, but at that time, like, me and Shelly only care about the numbers at
Oh no, for sure.
at practice.
Yeah. When you're being competitive like that, it's always fun. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but you know what you guys should do for a competition is get like one of those hitting nets, and then I don't know if you guys have them, but they have these like the square screens you use for like BP in the outfield or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They have ones with like holes in them with like little nets that you could basically it's right in the tag zone. So you guys could have like a little competition who throws.
Oh,
I don't know. That's what
like
I think
accuracy?
that's a big deal, man. If I'm
Mhm.
if I'm being straight up with you.
Mhm.
If you have like a 1-7 pop time, but the throw's like terrible, then you
Yeah.
want to get the guy out, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
It totally makes sense. I mean, yeah, you don't throw accurately. There's no way you can get them out, right?
Yeah. So.
All right.
Brennan.
I got a question for you, Sam. So you being a catcher and all, you're always behind the dish. You know how the umps call. So how big do you think the difference was between umps in JUCO and D1 right now? Like, is it that big of a difference, or are there actually good umps in JUCO?
There was. Well, I'll tell you this right now. So, the junior college tournament, which we went to when I was there, we had some good umpires. Like there was 2 crews that were working. I think they were like 3-man crews or whatever, but there was only 2 of them. I think they picked the best out of Washington or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But those guys ended up umpiring our scrimmages this last fall.
Oh, for Oregon? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, no, they weren't terrible. I'd say the main difference though would be the way you can talk to them and the way you can approach them.
Oh, okay.
And also the consistency. Like there's, Pac-12 umpires aren't going to be perfect, but for the most part, they're going to be consistent. And if they're going to be, they might be consistently shitty or they might be consistently really good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rather than be like super good one inning and then terrible. Like I'd say that's like the main difference that I've seen. But for sure, they're better, man. I mean, it's just kind of obvious. They got to be better.
Yeah. We've heard the horror stories of like the worst umpires ever out of JUCO.
Oh, but they were terrible. Yeah. Yeah. There was a few guys that were terrible, but then again, they had like a few crews that were good. So.
When you were talking about like how you can approach the umps, was that meaning like in JUCO, like you could have more of a conversation where like in Division I, like they're super professional, or like the other way around?
No, it's the other way around. It's there's no such thing as too professional. I mean, it depends on how you interpret that, the way you said that, right? I mean, too professional in my mind would be like taking advantage of, like I'm coaching a baseball team right now. I'll give you an example. I'm coaching a baseball team right now, and there was this umpire that literally just had my number the whole game, even before the plate talk, right? And he was a younger dude. He knew I was in college still, right? And I'm still playing. But I felt like he kind of was way too professional about it. It's summer baseball, But on the other side of that, it's like the JUCO guys, you couldn't really have a man-to-man conversation. But with the D1 guys, you can talk to them just like you're talking to anybody, and they respect it. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have thought it. I would have thought it the other way around, but that's interesting.
Like, yeah, same.
I mean, if you look at it, man, like umpires' jobs are not very easy, and they're not very.
Yeah.
It's not very fun to get heckled at the whole game, So. Yeah. I don't know.
Because any call you make, the other side, one side's going to be mad.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. Another question I had, and this could be at any school you played, but through your first 3 years of college baseball, because I know 2 years ago we got to play at USC's field. So what has been your favorite field you play at? It could be facilities, the quality of the field, or just the atmosphere. What's been your favorite?
You know what? That's kind of that's a tough question because we didn't even get to finish this season.
Yeah, you didn't get to see it.
Yeah, I would have loved to go play it. I would have loved. I mean, I've played at Goss because I played for the Knights one summer, but I would have loved to see that. You know what I'm saying? Oregon versus Oregon State. That would have been really cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Probably Hawaii.
Oh, damn.
Dang.
Yeah, probably Hawaii, just because, dude, their fan base is awesome. And, you'll have 7 dudes behind your dugout just heckling you, No, but it makes the game fun though. But it's cool. It was cool. Their fans showed out, and after the game they were they had a bunch of these little Oregon fans, little kids, and we all signed their stuff. It was pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So they're very involved with their team.
Yeah, we had a dude from Hawaii too, so it was pretty cool. Yeah.
I think that leads well into one of the questions I had. I guess what is the difference between playing at I don't know much about San Jose State, but I would assume they're not like one of those like bigger name D1s, and then going to Tacoma, obviously a community college, right? But then going to Oregon, a major tier D1. How has your experience been different between those three teams?
Well, I'll tell you, man. I mean, it's been kind of a little bit of a roller coaster career for me right now so far. But as far as difference, San Jose State beat Oregon when I was a sophomore.
Okay.
So if that gives you some perspective, right? Like, we'll go. It don't matter, like Oregon or Oregon State. Like, it's at the end of the day, it's kind of like San Jose State was in the runnings. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But as far as the difference, the only difference was community college. You had to do work on the field and stuff, and you had to do everything on yourself. You had to do your own laundry, meals. Everything was on you. But at San Jose State, it was kind of, you get this, that, and the other. You get your bat, glove, all that sort of stuff, which was like the minimum because San Jose State's budget was not even close to what U of O's is. And then when you get to U of O, I mean, obviously, everybody talks about the gear and stuff, which is all cool and everything. But in reality, man, they're just kind of taking care of their athletes. So
Yeah.
we get taken care of really well. And every one of us is thankful for it. So that'd probably be the main difference, man. Just like in the facilities too. I mean, that's obvious stuff. You guys see, it's obvious. But as far as the baseball aspect of it,
You're just playing ball at the end of the day, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, but junior college really made me think about the game. Really made me think if I wanted to continue playing it and stuff. Because I mean, you're literally on your own. And for me, I was getting looked at pretty early on that year, but I couldn't talk to any coaches, couldn't text them because my head coach was pretty hard on like the grade part of it. And I've been the strongest kid in the classroom, which I'll tell you guys right now, it's a big deal, and it's becoming more of a deal. But off that topic, I couldn't talk to anybody, so I was kind of stressing. I had a pretty good year, but I committed like right probably around here last year,
No.
which is super late. So,
Mhm.
But hey, take the opportunity when it comes, right?
yeah, exactly.
Right.
So it was cool. But,
I know you said you weren't able to finish the season, but I would assume that you have a Pac-12 pool play, right? Like you would play the UCLA. I know you guys didn't get a chance to finish the season, but I assume like you guys would have a Pac-12 pool play, right? And I only
Were you
asked
guys
this.
like in conference play yet?
Yeah.
no,
Like
we
in the
weren't
season?
actually. We were just about to head out to UCLA.
Well, I only asked this because I'm kind of biased. I've been a Stanford fan most of my life, and one of my dreams is to go see Sunken Diamond at Stanford. So I guess my question is, what have you heard about Stanford baseball?
Well, actually, our catching coach was there last year. Actually, he was there like the past 2 years. But Jack Martyr, I don't know if you know the team that well, but dude, I'll get you tickets if we play down there next year or whatever.
Are you serious? Well, it would be a trek for us
Dang.
because we have to go NorCal, but I'd definitely be down to go.
Well, if all this stuff, no
My
matter,
dreams.
we'll see what happens with all this crap that's going on. But
Right?
Yeah. It's tough.
yeah, man,
I guess
you keep my
sorry,
number.
Go ahead.
Just yell some
Thanks, man.
tickets. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think the obvious question here is how has COVID affected your season? I think the obvious part is it's stopped the season, but in terms of
Practicing.
how you going to
right
practice
now.
or prep for next
Player
year.
progression.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a really weird. It was a really weird deal. Like, we were supposed to go to UCLA. Everybody was getting on the bus, and then
Wow.
yeah. So then 2 days, everybody was gone. Everybody's back home. And then yeah, dude, it's kind of been a blur since then. But as far as like our report date and stuff, we're supposed to be reporting probably like early August, late August is when most of the guys are reporting. But yeah, there's a lot of restrictions on it and stuff. And I don't know, man. It's going to change a lot of things in our society. So
Right, definitely.
Yeah, because I know for us, we our coach is like really hard on us, like practicing a lot. Like we play 50 weeks out of the year or something like that. And our summer program, which is mostly just us weightlifting, like we don't play a lot of baseball because we're like a physically small team.
Yeah.
But it literally just all got canceled. Was it like 2 days ago? Like no summer sports. We haven't heard anything about like when we're gonna play, if we're gonna play. So like it's just really hard, especially for me, Brandon, and Shelly, and you too. Going into your like last year, if we're gonna even have a last season for that.
Right. No, I feel for you guys, man. I really do. That was the first thing I thought about because we're actually getting a year back.
Yeah.
You guys get another year of eligibility.
Yeah, but the kids I thought about though were like, man, if I was a senior in high school, right, or if I was a 12-year-old, because I knew when I was 12 years old. Well, no, when I was 12 years old, man, we were shooting to go to the World Series. I went to the World Series when I was 11, and then we were trying to go. I swung up, and then we were trying to go my 12-year-old year. We lost. But anyways, I was just thinking about that kind of stuff. Like, you guys can't get that back. There's no way that they – I mean, there's no way you want to be held back in high school anyways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
But
it's just, you just have to take it. And
there's just no way out of it for you guys, and that's a bummer, man. So I feel for you guys, and that's just shitty deal, man. But
yeah, I thought I remember when I saw on like ESPN when Little League World Series is canceled. Like I felt bad. Like I was saying, like because it was around that time when college players got like the spring sports got another year of eligibility. I was like, going to the Little League World Series for a lot of kids, that's like the highlight of their maybe their entire life. Playing on national TV against the best competition you could find, like that must have been hard for those kids.
And the atmosphere is so amazing too. Like it's baseball all day, not just you play. After you play, you gotta watch. You have like, or you see on TV, they all have their passes and stuff,
and they all hang out like multiple teams hang out in the same like clubhouse and stuff like that.
And then now that Major League Baseball implemented a Little League, how they play on the Sunday?
Little League Day,
yeah, like they get to meet Major League Baseball players. I think MLB did a great job with that too.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I want to, spice things up here. What is your like you're in the dugout, or not really in the dugout. You're in the clubhouse and you're like chilling right before a game. What is the best pregame music, pregame playlist, pregame genre music that can get you hyped up?
Well, I mean, I'm not usually on the aux, but we got two guys that are usually on the aux, so I really got nothing to say on that. Yeah, I got nothing to say on that. That's a good question though, but
do you have a routine?
Huh?
You like cut out there.
Like, do you have like a specific like routine? Do you have like a specific like pregame routine that you do like the same before every game?
Yeah, I mean, I have my well, what do you mean? Just like any like, what are you talking about? Just before the whole day?
Well, because I know like. Well, yeah, something like that, like a special meal before the game, maybe a little like snack right before like batting practice or something.
No, usually usually just get some food in my belly, man. We'll get fed before the game, go over, and I'll like go with the other catchers, and we'll get all of our catching stuff in like way before BP and all that stuff, so we can be ready. And then I'll hit a little bit. Just get myself ready even before BP, and then call it good. I'm pretty simple when it comes to that stuff, though.
Yeah.
I have another question for you. I've heard, as a catcher, I've heard a lot of stuff about how people say the catching position is the toughest position in college sports, in the major league sports. Do you agree with that? Do you think catching is the toughest in terms of like workload and just workload and working with pitchers and whatnot?
I mean, you tell me. What do you think?
I think it's pretty hard because, like, I mean, I'm catching bullpens, and then I have to like scramble to get a few hacks in at like the back end of practice. So I could,
at the end of the day, though, right? That's your job, isn't it?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's
So,
true.
I'm not gonna say anything about that question, but I mean, people can decide for themselves. I mean, nobody knows truly how much goes into catching. Nobody knows, like the people who are just sitting back having a beer watching the game, man. They don't even know like
Oh
how
yeah.
much sign, what's going through the catcher's head. You got to do. I don't know. There's all sorts of stuff. Yeah, no, I don't really have an answer for that question. I would say no. I'd say, I mean, if you truly want to be great at your position, then everybody probably works equally as hard. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
I know one thing that's super hard for catchers our coach doesn't like trust. No matter how good of a catcher you are, our coach always calls the game because he's pretty smart about baseball. But like through even high school and then each school you've been to, like have you ever like called a game? Because I know that's a huge thing for
A huge
catchers.
responsibility, yeah.
Like because you got to know the hitters and your pitchers.
yeah, I mean, when I would have been like a senior, I called my own game when I was playing for the Challengers, our Legion team around here. But that's just because, I mean, my coach had trust in me. I showed him that I could do it. And, it wasn't like he just gave me the ball and said, hey, you're calling this game. It was like, no, you can take the end of this game because we're down like 5 or 10. I mean, sorry, we're up 5 to 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? We're killing them. So he's like, hey, you can call the rest of this game. And then it was kind of like building blocks, but when I gained his trust, he let me call the game. So, but community college, sometimes they'd just give me, hey, call it you, but they'd mostly call it. And then U of O, there's no shaking off or anything. It's always the pitching coach, which I completely get. Our pitching coach puts a lot of work into the scouting reports and studying the hitters, knowing the pitch really well, right? So makes sense. But yeah, probably just when I was playing summer ball, senior.
Yeah, that was kind of like us last part you were talking about. There's no shaking off. Like the only time our pitchers shake off is we have like a specific sign to tell the pitcher to shake off to try to like get in the hitter's head or something. But
yeah, fake
our secrets, man.
Well, talking about that, I obviously, Sam, I don't want to give away your secrets either, but I'm interested in kind of how difficult are your signs, because I know our coach is really, really, I guess the other word is paranoid about teams picking our signs. So our signs are very complicated. I wonder if it's the same level of severity in the college level.
I bet you it's more, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure college.
Yeah, that'd just be my guess. But no, to be honest with you, our coach tries to simplify it as much as possible, but at the same time, try not to get picked. Right? That's kind of what. Yeah, you don't have to make the game so difficult, man. That's when you start messing up and making it more difficult for the guys. And college baseball it's not a grind, but there's just a lot to it, and it's time consuming. So you kind of got to be committed on it. But yeah, dude, just trying to make it really simple and just not get picked is the biggest thing, I guess. So.
Well, you talk about simplifying the game. It's really funny because, I mean, obviously I'm not going to give away our signs, but I would argue maybe our signs are very difficult sometimes. And
you ramped them up.
There are cases where we as the hitter or the runner mess it up, and our coach gets upset. And you talk about simplifying the game. I sometimes I grapple with that fact of, is our signs too hard sometimes, and then we screw it up and we miss up. They
sometimes overcomplicate it.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could, honestly, man, in that situation, really, you don't have control over that, So if I was in your situation, you just got to go with it and learn that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
We definitely do, but it was just interesting the point that you bring up, like, simplifying the game and your signs try to be simpler just so the message is clear, right?
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to be getting crossed up, and then that causes you can lose a game on a cross up, right? You can lose
for sure,
definitely.
Especially the college level. It's if you play on like a Friday night, right? Let's say you got two Friday guy going, and they're like just spot up dudes, like 95, let's say, or whatever, like tough guys to beat, right? And you might be getting that night, you might be scratching for 1 run, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Like free 90s are a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? And like cross ups can't really happen. So we had a lot of cross ups this year, but it was getting fixed. But yeah, I mean, not a lot, but just probably too many.
How are your daily practices like?
How are our daily practices?
Yeah.
Depends on what time of the year. So like we have a period of the year where we're at double days.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'll do like a scrimmage in the morning, scrimmage in the afternoon, stuff like that, or like a one scrimmage. I don't know. They set up our schedule based on the NCAA rules and allegations, right? So I really don't know, but yeah, we have like a set period of time where we do double days, and then we'll have regular practice. And then when it gets into the year, we're under like a certain amount of hours. So our practices shrink down, and then it's more kind of on your own work, right? That's why we got to go in early, get our catches work in, because we don't have much time to work with our coaches, which is kind of a crappy part about college ball. I mean, D1 at least. JUCO, you can work with your guys. That was the other difference I wanted to add in too. Junior college, our coach could hold us at the yard as long as he wanted to. There was
really?
Yeah, there was no rules. It was like high school baseball, man.
That's wow.
So, but it was cool though, right? You had access to your coaches, right? Whenever, and we had a assistant coach who's actually coaching at U of O right now. He came over. Me and then the shortstop at Oregon both went to Tacoma last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool. Actually 2 years ago. Sorry, 2018. And then our coach actually ended up coming over. He's a volunteer assistant, but he was like the type of dude where like if you hit him up, he'd be there throwing BP in like 15 minutes, you know? So it was,
that's so awesome.
That was a cool difference too. I mean, there's no restrictions on hours. So.
All right. So we're going to be wrapping it up here pretty soon, but we're going to give you 2 more questions. First one, what piece of advice would you give to the average high school student who's looking to become a collegiate athlete?
A college baseball player.
Yeah. College baseball.
The average high school, you mean the average?
Like someone,
like just someone who, they believe they can get there. They just got to put in the work. I mean, yeah.
Well, the advice I'd give you, man, are you asking for the advice? Are you just trying to shade it in the question or something?
No, like for anyone. All right. Not just me, anyone.
No, all I'd say is just from my learning curve so far in my career, which is still going on, right? Always learning. But this year for sure, man, I learned that preparation, right? And anything you do, preparation for your exams, preparations for whatever it is, like just your day as a whole, right? Just preparing. And then on top of that, like preparing for baseball, right? Let's talk about this for a sec. If you truly, which I'm not saying I do, this is something that I'm working on myself, right? But if you truly leave no doubt in your mind that tells you can't do something, you see what I'm saying? Like if you put in as much work as you possibly can behind the dish and feel like there's no way a pass ball will get by me ever. Doesn't even matter if it's like a fastball, right? There's no way that it'll get by you. Like there's no way I'm going to miss a strike because I caught 500 baseballs before that game. Stuff like that. I think that's a big deal that I didn't have a grasp of when I was in high school and even when I was in my first 2 years of college, right? But I'd say that working your butt off and staying positive, right? And then focusing on your preparation. And don't worry about the results at the beginning. Like you got to focus on your preparation, especially as a high school guy, man. Like you guys might not even be developed right now. You got to realize that as well. Like, yeah, the doctor might say you're done developing. Well, what if you start just throwing gas on the mound? Like, who knows? You know what I mean? But you can't just get negative with it after maybe a bad day at the yard or a bad week even or a bad month. Like you can't give up on it early. You got to ride it out till the end. But yeah, dude, the biggest thing, 2 things, is just preparation, positivity, having fun, man, just having fun with it. Because
Yeah.
One day it's going to be over for everybody, right? Sooner than later, whichever it is. Just focus on your preparation. Focus on staying positive with everybody, right? With all your teammates. Don't matter if you don't like the guy. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'm serious. You can make him your best friend. Act like he's your best friend, right? And then talk to your butt, whatever it is. But that's all I'd say, man. Just staying positive and focus on your preparation. 2 big ones.
Yeah, I agree with that. On the mental part, baseball's like a game of failure. You fail hitting like 7 out of 10 times, so you gotta keep that positivity, and also like what you said, mentally strong. For your next at bat, next ball hit you, like all that.
Yeah.
I want to piggyback on that question, Shelly. What the straight up question is, what was the best piece of advice the coach gave you? But was one of those kind of filtered in with the last question?
You want to know the best piece of advice my coach gave me? And
Sure.
this has to do with life. It was just be honest with yourself, man.
Yeah.
Like truly though. Like actually be honest with yourself. Like if you went through a workout, let's say, okay, and it's on a Friday after a long week of baseball, right? And you might have gave it probably 70%, and you're telling yourself, yeah, I got a good workout in, I got a good workout in, right? But in reality, there's probably dudes out there giving it 100%, right? And they're being honest with themselves, being like, no, I didn't give it my all. That's probably why I failed the next day. That type of stuff, like being honest with yourself.
Little things.
Little things, man. Yeah, you want to know something funny? I learned this my dad taught me this when I was like probably 5th grade. He coached us in football, and he talked to our team about it, right? Thumbs up attitude. Every finger means something. So I'm going to go through every finger really quick. Thumbs up attitude. Finger pointing the right direction. Get rid of the negatives. Take care of your loved ones. Take care of the little things, right? The pinky.
Yeah.
That's cool.
good.
That's really good advice. Yeah.
Just think about that, though. It's so true. It's really true.
Yeah.
And that's just like how to simplify life just a little bit. But for sure, just being honest with yourself and being honest with your teammates, being honest with your coaches, no matter how bad it is. That's something I've learned. And that's something you guys should just hold yourselves accountable to. Like, I think it's a big deal. Even if it means you might get cut, like whatever it is, dude, just be honest with them and be honest with yourself. Yeah, that's probably the coolest piece of advice I've gotten from.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
I love that
All right.
finger thing.
I have a question just regarding like your freshman season. Like I know hazing is a thing at some schools, but like how was your freshman year at San Jose State? Did seniors or try to haze you, or did they just like give you a bunch of responsibilities, or none at all?
Wait, hold up. Are you guys the only ones on this podcast?
Yeah.
What do you guys do with this podcast? You just share it on your Instagram or something?
We share it on YouTube.
Share it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor. But yeah, we share it all over there. Share it all over Instagram.
All right. Well, at San Jose State,
Well, if you don't want to say anything, we totally understand.
No, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. No. Okay. No, it was a challenge. It was called the All-American Challenge.
Uh-huh.
All right.
It was basically, it was you and a buddy, you and another freshman. And this wasn't, this was not hazing whatsoever.
Okay.
This was a team bonding type of deal.
Yeah.
This was like, everybody was cool with it, right? So I have never seen, to answer your question really quick, then I'll get to my other thing. I've never seen hazing in college baseball, nor high school baseball, nor my high school football experience. I've never, and if any of that shit did go on, I'd be there. Just like that's not the chillest thing in the world, right? But
yeah,
I feel like people get mixed up with hazing, right, and team bonding stuff.
Yeah, like
You see what I'm saying? All right, I'll get to my story though. So it was like an All-American Challenge, right? And so you had you and your partner. and we had this place called the Baseball House. It was like where all of our seniors lived, and like this is like the beginning of the year. So you really didn't know your freshman class, right? You didn't know very many people, but after this, you got to know them a little bit better. But no, so you had you and your partner, okay, and then you'd walk in. It was a dark room, and our starting pitcher, Schiff, who's one of my best buddies, he was in there along with another. I think it was another pitcher. I can't remember who it was. I just remember Schiff. And he'd ask you they'd ask you a ridiculous question like who was the head baseball coach at, let's say, I think it was like who was the head baseball coach at San Jose State University in 1980? It's like a question that there's no way you're going to answer it. So you just say some terrible answer, right? And then if you miss it, you have to go back outside and have the other people come in. And then it's pretty funny though. Next time around, we walked in there and they asked us a question. They were like, "Who's the head baseball coach at San Jose State University in 2017?" It was the year that we were there, so we obviously knew the answer. And then you got to go in, and then they, you guys have heard of like Edward Forty Hands?
No,
I don't think so.
No.
no.
Well then, yeah. So you had a large pizza. You had to eat a large pizza between the two of you, and then you'd split a 30 rack of beverages.
Okay.
Wow.
It was fun. We watched it was cool. Cool.
Yeah, that's fun.
So that's about it. But
That's cool.
the stories I shouldn't even have shared that, but it's all good. Whatever.
Well, we appreciate the insight. I think let's wrap it up with one more question. Yeah. I think what is your greatest baseball memory in your life so far?
Greatest baseball memory in my life?
Yeah. Playing, watching, whatever.
Winning state my sophomore year of high school. It was unreal.
Wow.
Yeah, we went to state my freshman year, lost, and then we went back my sophomore year and won it. Yeah, it was so cool, dude. Like, we faced a dude on the mound that got drafted that year. He was like 94. It was cool. It was cool. Our team should not have won, but we did. It was
One of like our team.
Yeah, probably that. And then
you guys were well prepared.
What's up?
I said you guys were probably well prepared. You just knew you were going to come out there and win.
Yep. And then Tim Tawa, who's the Stanford kid.
Yeah, I know exactly Tim Tawa is.
Yeah. Okay, so Will Matheson was on that team, and so was Timmy.
Oh, Will Matheson too? Wow.
Yeah,
I know exactly who those guys are.
Timmy threw the ball away to end the game. It sucked for him. Yeah, it was crazy, dude. Like, that should never happen. That should have never happened, but it did. Baseball. But yeah, that was probably my memory, man. Pretty cool.
Yeah, Tim Tawa was the shortstop, I think, for Stanford, and then Will Matheson
was all
the
around, like shortstop, outfield.
I actually Matheson's super tall. He has so much pop.
Yeah.
Well, if no one has any more questions, we appreciate your time, Sam. It was super cool to get to know you. I'm sure we'll be hitting you up in the future. We appreciate your time today.
Yeah, man.
Any final words from you guys?
Just thank you very much, man, for taking the time.
Dude.
Yeah, thank you
for joining the pod.
Man, it's a lot.
You guys got my number. I think Steven has my number, so you guys hit me up anytime you're in town or whatever. Anytime you see that UBO's in town or whatever, I'll hook you guys up with some tickets or something. So
all right,
we appreciate it.
Sounds good.
If you guys ever play Cal State Fully, I'll go. We gotta go. So.
Oh, for sure, dude. You get student. You probably get them for free, huh?
Yeah, we get them for free, so I'll for sure be there, man.
All right, sounds good, my guy. All right, we'll catch you guys on the flip side. All right.
All right.
Well, thank you again. Well, we'll wrap it up for episode 9 of DUBS Podcast. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I mess up every time, Shelly, but I'm pretty sure you'll fill me in.
There's way more. There's way more.
Well, you'll find us.
Those are the main ones.
Yeah, that's all for today. Take them, DUBS. We'll see you next time.
Peace. Wear your mask.